the degree to the extent how badly is the functionality affected. That's what the severity. The levels of severity are critical, high, medium, low. Low means like the functionality has been affected very minimal. Critical means huge damage. Okay. And how about priority? Priority is from the customer perspective, business perspective. How soon you can fix that defect or vulnerability. So P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. P1 being highest priority. The urgency of fixing the defect is all about priority. Okay. And principles of information security or CIA. Software development life cycle we discussed. What else we have discussed in the previous session? Performance testing versus security testing versus functional testing. Remember, functional testing means manual testing. Anyone can do this. There are a lot of job opportunities for manual testing. If you want to become security tester, you need to learn about ethical hacking. And you need to learn some tools. Learn some tools as well if you want to become a security tester. Fine. Now, okay, we discussed about ports and protocols. Okay, what is the default port for RDP? Double 389. What is the default port for HTTPS? What is the default port for SMTP? 25. Okay. These are very basics and also very important for network security and web security. Now let us get into, we have taken one example of a car and we have come up with a lot of scenarios, right? Now let us take about IT application. We are all are into information technology. So if I give a website, you should be able to list some vulnerabilities or defects. Okay. We'll consider a very simple example. And this is a practical example. I'm leaving it to you how many defects you want to find it out. Assume like there is a website and it has login page. Okay. Login page consists of username and password. Am I correct? And think like there is a login page which consists of username. UN stands for username and PW stands for password. You need to find out the scenarios. First, you need to list down the scenarios for testing this login page. This question is asked in the interviews for, I can say like, 1 second, for freshers to 5 years, 7 years of experience. As many scenarios you list, so good you are in doing the testing. So we try to see the application from the security perspective, not from the functional perspective. Can you guys list me? What all scenarios do you try? First positive case is valid username and valid password. I would expect one answer from each one of you, one scenario from each one of you. Valid username and password. Next. Yes, invalid username and password. Okay. Invalid username and password. And invalid password. The first case, no, think like only username, password, and submit button are there. You are not concentrating on the other options or other objects in the web page. Here, the login should succeed or fail. The first case, you are providing valid username and password. Login should be successful or failure. It should succeed or it should fail. First case, login. What is the expected result? Login success, right? If login success, is a test case passed or failed? Is the test case working as per the expectation or not? I would say like pass. Test case is passed. Here, login failed. Can anyone tell me is the test case passed or failed? You provide valid username and valid. Sorry guys, you provided invalid username and invalid password. So login also failed, saying like incorrect username and password. So is the test case failed or passed? So when do you say it is failed? I mean to say, if the expected results and actual results are different, then we should say that there is a defect and test case failed. Is it as per the expectations? If yes, then the test case is passed. So invalid username, when you provide invalid password, login should always fail. It is as per the expectations. Pass. Okay. We'll discuss about the execution results. Try to list down the scenarios now. Can I say invalid username, valid password? What should be the expected behavior? Login, fail. Okay. Fourth, valid username and invalid password. Expected behavior is again login fail. Like this, I want you to list as many scenarios as possible. One more scenario I will list. How about valid username and blank password? This is a special case, right? Blank password, login fail again. So I want you to list some scenarios, one scenario from each one of you. Take your time, 2 minutes to go, list it in the chat window. Number 6, blank username, blank password. These questions are asked both for manual testing and security testing. Security testing means penetration testing, ethical hacking related, blank password. Then let me see what all the answers you guys have given. Both are blank, blank username, invalid, valid. That's it. Okay, Raghavendra says alphanumeric characters. That is a special case. So you provide username, valid username, password as alphanumeric characters. That is a good one, right? Alphanumeric password using special characters. I have discussed one scenario for authentication bypass. Okay, someone has mentioned default credentials. Yes, that is good scenario. No, don't go about other options like CAPTCHA, OTP. Leave about that. Only username, password, and submit button is there. I'll try to explain one more time. Leave about the execution results, passed or failed. What are the expected results? You just try to list down. No, password specifications, we are not worried. I'll give you a website with a username and password option. I want you to test and find vulnerabilities. That is the objective. Or else, I'll give you the website right now. You try to find out the vulnerabilities. Okay. Launch a website called ultramutual.com. Try to find out the vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities means security defect. The website is ultramutual.com. Your time starts now. 5 minutes to go. Remember, nowadays in interviews, they give these kind of assignments. They click on sign in. You have the username and password. I want you to crack username and password or list the security defects in this login page. Don't worry about other pages like small business, personal, online banking. Other tabs, I'm not concerned. I'm concerned only about username, password, and login button. Your time starts now. Either you can list the scenarios. If you have logged in from mobile, list down the scenarios. Or if you have logged in from laptop, you can try the scenarios as well. Is it clear? Or if you have any questions, try to put it in the chat window. So, has anyone found any defects for this application? If you want to find the defects, you need to try some scenarios, right? Unless you test, you cannot find the defects. Vinod, it doesn't, okay. Of course, it is a HTTPS website. I want you to concentrate on only username and password. Okay. Don't concentrate on other fields, only username and password. 1 or 1 is equal to 1. Yes, that is one of the correct answer. We'll discuss. What are the default username and password for Airtel BSNL routers. Check in the internet or Google. Can you guys list me some default usernames and passwords? Think like these are all practical labs, and then give me some answers. Hariteja says admin. Srikant says admin. Username as admin, password as password as 1234. Username as username, password as QWU QWERTY 123123 143 Have you guys seen these kind of usernames and passwords? Yes. So you may get some of the login. So for some of the websites, these default credentials will work. When you try to provide default credentials, okay, check for ultramutual.com default credentials and confirm me whether it is working for admin/admin. Admin. Say if the login works for these default credentials. Confirm me if the login is working. If it is working, then is it a defect? Yes or no? If you have checked this one, login works. So it is a defect. If it is a defect, is it a security defect or functional defect? Is it a security defect or functional defect? If it is a security defect, then we call it like vulnerability. Let me try this case here for this website. You give admin. Click on login. So we are able to log into the admin account. So definitely it is a vulnerability. What will be the severity? Critical, high, or medium, or low? Assume like there is a banking website and you are logged into banking website as an administrator. What is the severity? Definitely it is going to be critical. Okay. So as part of initial details for this ultramutual.com, I'll give you some credentials, valid credentials I'm going to provide. The first case, valid credentials, username as JSmith, password as, this is a password demo 1234. These are the valid credentials for this application. Valid credentials are JSmith and demo 1234. These are the valid credentials. Is it possible for you to find some more defects in this application? Okay, you click on sign in. I am one of the legitimate user, correct user for this application, that is JSmith. And I'm trying to log in with my password 1234. You click on login, login works, and it says, hello, John Smith. Is this a defect or not? First of all, I logged in as a normal user. I am the valid user. So is it a defect or not? If it is a defect, is it security defect or functional defect? It is like this. You opened one banking account in a banking in a bank. You opened one account in SBI or ICICI. They provided you some credentials to log into the application, and you are able to log in with those credentials as a normal user. So will that be a defect? When do we call something as defect? If it is unexpected, or if there is any deviation from the expected functionality, right? This is not a defect. I am a valid user. I have my own credentials and I am able to log in. I am a John Smith, and if I am able to log in as an admin, then that is a defect. If it is a defect only, then we can categorize it as functional defect or a read or security defect. This one is not a defect. Okay, I am a valid user. I am able to log in. If you do unauthorized login, then it is a defect. Okay, fine. Come back. So what are the other scenarios you can try? We tried with default credentials. Have you heard of SQL injection authentication bypass? You need to give input as 1 or 1 is equal to 1. Try this as a username and password and see whether input login works or not. I'm sending you the payload. The input is called payload. Try this one and check whether login works or not. There are a lot of websites in the online. These kind of security defects will be there. So this case, how about this case? I'm trying to provide username as 1 or 1 is equal to 1 and password as 1 or 1 is equal to 1. And we are able to see that username and password I provided as 1 or 1 is equal to 1. Click on login. It worked. Again, I am able to get the admin access. So is this a security defect or functional defect? When do you say it is a security defect? If there is any compromise in the CIA. Here, someone is able to do unauthorized login. So it is a security defect. Of course, functionality, if it is a security defect, definitely like even functionality also gets affected, but we should call it like a security issue only. Sign off. This is a vulnerability. Okay, I would expect last two scenarios. Try it out. 5 minutes. Still very interesting scenarios are there where we can raise the defects. Okay. Anyone, any questions? Let me know in case if you guys have any questions. Are you able to follow the sessions? No questions. Okay. Remember, for any kind of functionality, you need to come up with list of scenarios to test, and out of those scenarios, you should be able to get some defects. Your job as a security engineer is to find vulnerabilities. Your job as a manual tester is to find functional defects. That's what we do in software companies as a tester. But any other scenarios? Come on, guys, think of it as a hacker, right? You should come up with a lot of scenarios where the application functionality is breaking. Give the username as password and password as username. Check if it works. Madan Mohan Reddy. I don't think it will work. Just give a try. The objective is to find defects, be it functional defect or security defect. Is there any other defects or other scenarios? Did we miss any other scenarios? Alphanumeric we have covered. Alphanumeric password, blank password we have covered. Then invalid password we have covered. Default credentials, SQL injection, authentication bypass, not working. Password. Okay. Any other scenarios? Default usernames and password, that is done. Divya Shravani, let me know what should I try here. J Smith is a valid user, right? The password which I have given is demo1234. It should work for this. But what in case if it is working for demo1234? Is it a defect? Is this a defect? If it is working for both these passwords, is this a defect or not? Demo123 and demo1234, demo in caps. Did you check for some of the applications, banking websites? Does it follow case sensitivity or not? Divya Shavani, good one. You're able to get it. Basically, you need to check for case sensitivity. Okay. If you have given the password as all in small, then it should work only for that. Or if you have given all in caps, it should work for that. Or if you have given like this, capital D, small mo, 1, 2, 3, 4, it should work only for that. So case sensitivity, we should check. That's what the one more scenario. Check for case sensitivity. I think your application works for capital demo 1, 2, 3, 4 also. So here is one more defect. This is also a vulnerability. So these are some of the scenarios. There are few more are there, but you'll not be able to understand few more scenarios like clickjacking, open redirect, and intercepting the request between client and server. Some more scenarios I just listed down here. Sensitive data exposure and the response. These things you will not be able to understand now. Maybe at the end of in the middle of the training, you will be able to get it. You require some basics. Clickjacking attack, then open redirect. Just remember, for interview perspective, again we are going to come back to these last 4 cases once you finish the basics on that. Clickjacking, open redirect, sensitive data exposure, then intercept, and delete some parameters. These things we'll discuss it later. So basically the functionality is here, the login. Login is the functionality, and you are supposed to list down all the scenarios to find out the defects. Okay, great. If I give you one more use case, will you be able to list the scenarios? The functionality is about file upload. File upload means you are supposed to upload some files to the server or a website. File upload, this is the scenario or use case. You need to come up with possible scenarios for this file uploads. Have you guys seen any kind of image upload, document upload in any websites? So give me one example of a website where you have uploaded some images, files, videos. I would say like Facebook. Any more examples? No, don't want scenarios. First list down the applications. Whatever is the application you have seen in your real time, where you have observed uploading of any files. Instagram. Okay, then WhatsApp. Yes, we send and receive images. Any other? Gmails. Yes. Anything else? Twitter. YouTube. Then Telegram job portals, Naukri. What else? Share chat, again, like networking app. Give me some apps from the different field. For example, Aadhaar website, that is like government websites. Government websites example is Aadhaar. Yes, matrimony websites. What do we do in matrimony websites? We apply to upload our images, right? These are the some of the scenario, some of the applications where you find file upload functionality. Job portals, now we have covered. Exam websites, all the applications wherever you see like banking websites. What details do you provide in banking website? KYC, know your customer documents, ID proof, address proof, loan documents. Okay. So like this, we have lot many websites are there where you can upload some documents. Now the challenge is you need to list down the scenarios. Just like the way how you tested login page, you have to list down the scenarios for file uploads. File uploads. What all scenarios you try? I'll list you one or two examples. You guys can take this as an assignment for the weekend. I'll check with file of large size. Okay, this is one scenario. Say for example, my application allows only image files. .jpeg it allows. I try to check for uploading .txt, .word, .doc. So files with different extensions. So I have listed two scenarios here and leaving the other scenarios for you. Will you be able to take this for assignment? Say yes if you can take up this assignment. Each one has to come up with 5 scenarios. Already 2 are there. You need to come up with the additional 3 scenarios. You can post it in the group also, WhatsApp group once you are done. Try to get as many scenarios as possible. Is it tough, guys? Generating scenarios and finding the defects, is it tough or easy? What do you think? It doesn't require any programming knowledge. It doesn't require any tools knowledge. You just need to understand the way how the things work for kind of for applications, right? How does the real-time applications work? And how does the attacker makes use of these functionalities for doing unauthorized access hackers? Fair enough. We'll discuss the scenarios in Monday session. Saturday, Sunday, we don't have the session. But remember, there will be some additional sessions on Saturday and Sunday for communication or any others. I think you might be having soft skills training in the weekends. Those who are not good in communication, you guys can attend those sessions. Technical session will be again on Monday. Monday to Friday, I'll be taking care. I'll be taking the sessions. Fine. Let us go through some more basics of cyber security. As a cyber security engineer, you should know some of the terms which are very important for ethical hacking. I'll try to list down those things. Try to understand it. Okay. Very easy one. There is a website and it has a lot of users. Within that users, even we can see some of the hackers, right? Hackers also one among those users. You send a request to the server and you get a response. Am I correct? You send a request and you get a response. Similarly, for any other users, you send a request and you get the response. We discussed about three-tier architecture. By the time I draw the picture, can you guys list me what are the 3 major blocks in three-tier architecture? We discussed in day 1, right? What are the 3 major blocks in three-tier architecture? Database server, app server, and web server. Remember, whatever I am trying to discuss here are the interview questions. So you should be able to answer it anytime. Okay. Database is for storage, application server is for business logic, and web server is for enabling the application over the internet. Now I have a website and there are multiple users are there. User 1, user 2, user 3, and user 4. User 4 is a hacker. He is also one of the user, right? Only thing is this guy always tries to log into user 1 or user 2 or user 3 account or directly to the database or web server or app server. So what I'm saying is I'll list down the terms. You need to tell me where exactly it is. Okay. I'm giving the names as U1, U2, U3, U4, that DB server, app server, web server, abc.com, and there are some server operating systems, OS1, where this web server is hosted, OS2, where this app server is hosted, and database server, where this database server is hosted in the operating system 3. Let us try to understand some terms. Where is the attacker here? Attacker or hacker? Where is the attacker here? Attacker is nothing but none other than the person who performs malicious activities. U4 is the attacker. Attacker or hacker, cyber criminal, all the terms are same. The next one, asset. What is meant by an asset? Or target. Target or victim. Victim is something where these hackers target. So here the target is abcbank.com. It is a website, or it can be a web server or app server or database server. And the person or the user who uses these targets are called the victims. Okay. Just remember some of the terminologies. Target can be website, or it can be a database server, web server, switches, routers. Already we discussed that. Okay. Next thing, what do you mean by vulnerability? Already, what is the definition of vulnerability? It is a loophole or flaw, right? These attackers, what they do is, if they want to hack a website, first they try to find the vulnerabilities. Once the vulnerability has been found, this is the step one. Once the vulnerability has been found, then they go for the exploitation. Step 2 is exploitation. What do you mean by exploitation? Exploitation is all about gaining access. Exploit, I would say, or exploitation. Okay. So as a hacker, first you need to look for vulnerabilities. If there are vulnerabilities only, then we can hack the website. First, look for the vulnerability. Then go for the exploitation. Step 2. As a hacker, your first work is find the vulnerability and hack it. Step 1. From step 1, try to come to step 2. From step 2, if you are able to successfully exploit, you should be able to gain access to the target. So like this, in an entire our course, we are going to find out, we are going to learn a lot of vulnerabilities in our course. Exploitation is for your advantage and for your understanding. Most of the companies doesn't do exploitation, but vulnerabilities you need to understand. So far we have found, we discussed about default logins. This is one vulnerability, and SQL injection authentication bypass, auth bypass. What is the input we have used for SQL injection authentication bypass for allfrommutual.com? What is the input? To achieve this unauthorized login, what is the input we have used for SQL injection bypass? 1 or 1 is equal to 1. This code, single code should be correct, okay? Or else it will not work. This one is called payload. Remember the term, the payload. Payload means a small piece of code or input that is required to achieve the objective of hacking. Understood? Without this, are we able to do unauthorized login without this payload? No, we cannot do it. So these inputs are called payloads. Remember the term called payload. Payload means small piece of code that is used for exploitation. Okay. Vulnerability is a loophole. Exploitation is all about gaining access or taking control. Exploit means gaining access or taking control of the target. Then what is meant by threat? Have you heard of threat? Threat is an event that would cause, yeah, you can consider it like cause potential damage to the target. Target can be application or device or mobile or anything. Okay, so basically any kind of event that would cause drastic damage to the target, that is called as threat. So what are the possible threats for a website? Attacker can log in by using default credentials, or attacker can upload some suspicious files to the target. Attacker can upload virus files to the target and tries to infect the system. So these are called threats. So for the threats to happen, there should be vulnerabilities. Okay, then the last one, what is meant by risk? Risk is basically the loss or the impact caused by the threat. Very simple, right? Have you guys understood? Of course, first time you guys are listening, it will be little confusing, but try to uh, remember in a flow. Like first, okay, there is a application server, web server, website. To hack, for the hacker to hack the website, they require loopholes. That loopholes are called vulnerabilities. Right? Simple. Vulnerability is the first step, but for gaining access, we have to perform exploitation. So to perform exploit, within the exploit, we use some payloads. Payloads are nothing but the inputs that are used for exploitations. And threat, basically with the help of these vulnerabilities, the incidents will happen, the event will happen, which would cause possible damage to the target. That is called threat. And after the threat, what is the loss that is caused? That will be talked by the risk. Go through these definitions for 2 or 3 minutes, then we'll discuss. Okay, we'll have a quiz. Go through these definitions for 3 minutes. Shall we go through the quiz based on the yesterday's concepts? I mean to say day before yesterday's concepts and today's concepts. Or do you guys need time to revise? We discussed about software development life cycle, different job roles, threats, CVRD, priority. Are you guys ready or do you guys need time? Remember, when you come for Monday session, I want you to come up with the scenarios for file uploads. Okay, then let us go through the quiz. I'll be sending you a small form to get the feedback from you, how you guys are able to follow the sessions. Is it comfortable? Am I going too fast, too slow, or you are able to understand or not? Just fill that form. Maybe I'll send it after the class, okay? Oh, I haven't covered one concept. Okay, that we'll do it in the next week. How to perform hacking. The phases of penetration testing we need to do. Okay, that we'll take it in the next session, no problem. Which threads, which client server, CIA, SDLC, okay. Reply only to me, don't reply to everyone, okay. You need to do the match the following. Basically, there is a term and its meaning is there. It takes take 5 minutes of time and answer this. First, try to map the easiest one so that you will be able to get the correct answer. Even if you give me the correct sequence of the number from like 1 2 3 4 3 4 1 2 or 1 2 3 4 5 1 like that also, that's fine. Asset. What is the meaning of the asset? Makes use of vulnerability, business impact, potential event which has value and to be protected, a security. If you don't know the asset, go to the vulnerability, see the mapping like that. Don't write anything on the screen, you can undo it. Last 2 minutes. I can assure you that if you are able to score 8 out of 10 in all the quizzes, you'll be able to crack the job in the first 3 interviews by yourself. Remember, for 3 years experience, you will be able to get around 9 lakhs to 15 lakhs per annum. Worst case 8, best case 17 lakhs or even 18 lakhs per annum. So that's what with cyber security it is. Okay, let me give you the answer. Asset means I already discussed. It is a target that has to be protected, right? So A4, we start with 4. Vulnerability, we have been discussing from beginning. It is a loophole. 4, 5. Then risk. Risk means loss or business impact. 2, 4, 5, 2. Threat. Threat is a potential event. Okay, that would cause harm or damage. The exploit is 1. So exploitation makes use of vulnerability for hacking. So the correct answer is 4, 5, 2, 3, 1. Okay, most of you are correct. Next question. List the phases of software development life cycle in sequence. First, you write it down in the notepad. Write it down in the notepad and then give me the answer. Because once you enter, it will come as an individual phase. So list down in a notepad and then enter. Or you can put like phase 1 dash, phase 2 dash, phase 3 dash, like that. Last 15 seconds. The phases of software development life cycle are we discussed in yesterday's session. There should be some plan or idea if you want to start any kind of project or the application. Then it comes about requirement gathering and analysis. I'm going to revise this. Idea or planning is just a basic idea of something imagination you have and you want to make it implemented. Requirement gathering and analysis. Here we discuss about whether that idea is feasible or not, realistic, or do we have enough budget, do we have enough resources, do we have enough skills, and is it achievable or not. Okay, all these things will be discussed in the requirement gathering and analysis. Once the requirements has been finalized, then we get into the designing phase where the architect will try to design it, developers they try to develop the program, then testing team will try to test, they come up with the scenarios, test it. If there are any vulnerabilities or defects, they try to report it. Again, developers they try to fix those vulnerabilities. Finally, it is deployment and then support and maintenance. These are the phases of software development life cycle. Okay, very easy one. Match the following phase to its relevant job role in secure software development life cycle. The easiest one is testing, right? Quality analyst or tester, they try to improve the quality and the security by validation. So B is 5. A development team, programmer. A4, B5, design I said architect, support and maintenance tech support team, deployment. 4, 5, 2, 3, 1. Yes, very easy one. If you have followed my session, you should be able to answer this correctly. In the interviews, how they will be asking is, can you tell me the phases of software development life cycle? Okay, and tell me like what are the activities you do in software development lifecycle. Very easy. Whatever I have explained you in these videos, try to mimic the same thing. Try to tell the same thing also, that's fine. Okay, no need to go for some special words. Yeah, and you can prepare your own notes when you try to go through these videos. Try to list down in a paper, day one, what are the highlights, and then see how much you are able to understand like that. 45231. This is the correct answer. Cost of fixing the defect is more in production compared to the pre-production. Is it true or false? Reply only to me. Don't reply to everyone. Okay. There is an option called Hari Yes. Reply to Hari Yes. Host. Very easy one. So definitely, like the moment the defect goes into the production to the real customers, you need to spend on recalling, you need to spend on support, you need to spend on additional softwares or infrastructure to replace, and any kind of additional fines, regulatory fines, forensic investigation in case of security incidents. So definitely the cost of defect is more in production. This is also an interview question they will be asked. This is the interesting one. Okay, I want some volunteer to read this question. Who wants to read this? You can unmute and then read this question.
Yeah, I would like to read.
Chandrika, go ahead.
Identify security defects from the below list. Option A, log into an application taking lot of time and the application is very slow. B, view account option is disabled in the application after login. Option C, end user is able to listen all customer details, phone number, email, PAN number, address in an application by appending the URL with a simple script without logging to an application. D, truncated images, image alignment issues found in the home page. Option E, end user is successfully able to bypass login with the payload for password as 1 or 1 is equals to 1.
Okay, that's good. Thanks, Chandrika. Okay, so the question here is, I have listed some of the scenarios, or you can call it like scenario or defect or whatever it is. Out of these 5, which are security defects? You need to identify that. 2 minutes to answer this question. Okay. Put down your answers in the chat window. It can be 1 or it can be more than 1. You need to identify the security defects. When do we say it is a security defect? CIA. It should be compromised, either of that. When the practicals get started, we'll have a revision session in the evening hours for 40 minutes like that. In case you want to attend one more time, you can attend. The trainer will be a different trainer. Basically, we have additional 2 more trainers who takes care of the support work. Okay, they'll be there, either Gayatri or Shirisha or one more person. If you have any doubts, you can get it clarified from them as well. Okay, let me read out these questions. Read out these options. The first one, log into an application taking a lot of time and application is very slow. So this one, basically login to the application is taking time means it is basically performance issue. That's it, right? The designing is not done in such a way for better performance. It is a performance issue. Even we cannot call it like a security defect because of availability. It is a performance list. Second one, view option, view account. So the moment you log into any account or banking account, there will be an option called view account. This option is disabled in the application after login. That is a defect, but we cannot call it like a security defect. Nothing is compromised here out of CIA, right? So B is also not the correct answer. End user is able to list some customer details like phone number, email address in an application by appending the URL with a simple script. So they're trying to put in some additional script, and they are trying to do without the login to the application. Assume like there is a banking website. I am not a valid user, but by putting some script, I am able to get the customer details in the web page. Panera Bread example. So definitely option C is one of the correct answers. The next one, truncated images. Truncated means you can say like the image is not completely visible. Maybe like it is visible 70%, or this image is overlapped with some other image. Is this a security defect? No, this is a UI issue, functional defect. End user is able to bypass login with the payload for the password as 1 or 1 is equal to 1. So the last one is clearly it is a security defect, authentication bypass. Remember the term authentication bypass by using the payload 1 or 1 is equal to 1. Option C and option E are the correct answers. The question is to identify only security defects. So C and E are the correct answers. What is the command to find IP address in a system? Do you guys know this? If you know, try to answer it. If you don't know, just ignore this question, because I haven't covered this topic yet. How do you find IP address in a system? This comes under computer networks. We'll start from Monday. Computer networks, IP address, MAC address, internal IP, external IP, class A, class B, class C, and subnetting. These things we are going to discuss in next week. Just ignore this question. And what is the command to find IP address? We use ipconfig in Windows, ifconfig in Linux systems, ipsplace A even in Linux systems. The question answer is all of the above. Identify the job roles relevant to security engineer, cyber security engineer, software development lifecycle of a typical web application. So you need to identify the job roles in SDLC. Remember, in software development lifecycle, you need to identify. That should be specific to cyber security. One or more can be the answer. In software development lifecycle, I know like we have covered web security engineer, that is correct answer. SAST stands for static application security testing. It is done in the development phase. Remember, SAST and DAST. Whatever we do in development phase is called SAST. Whatever we do in testing phase is called DAST. Okay, so A, B, C is also correct answer. D is done in SDLC but not related to cyber security. So option D is not the correct one. Network security engineer, that is also cyber security job role, but not done in software development lifecycle. A, B, C are the correct answers. You need to understand the question. Cyber security engineer in SDLC of a typical web application. Okay, I'm talking about within SDLC. Just ignore this. No need to answer this one. Instead of this answer, try to list down the severity levels that can be assigned for a defect. Instead of this question, I am asking a different question. What are the severity levels that can be assigned for a defect? Critical, high, medium, low. Okay. Which of the following defect is more severe and can cause huge business impact? You understood, right? Risk. Which one will cause more risk out of this, and which is more severe? So it should be severe, and in the same time, it should have more business impact. 30 seconds to answer this. I'll be sharing this video in the drive. All of you download this and then go through my videos. In case if you have missed initial sessions, go through it in the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So ensure these basics are being revised before you come for Monday, along with the assignment that I have given to you. File uploads, you need to come up with possible scenarios. Minimum 5 scenarios from each. Even if you have the scenarios, put it in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Which of the following defect, only one defect you need to answer, that could cause high business impact? UI issues are not severe. It can cause business impact, but the question is it should be more severe. There is no severity for it. Functional defects, no. Performance defects, but comparatively, the last one, unauthorized login, will have more severe and also cause huge business impact. The answer is D. Nmap tool can be used for port scanning in the scanning phase of the penetration testing. Yes, this is about the tool. We'll discuss it later. Okay, anything else? This is also we haven't covered. This is all for today. How many of you scored 9 out of 9? I would say like at least 80 or 90 and scored 9 out of 9. Reply to everyone. Just mention your score. So we started for 9 questions, right? I would say like 7 and above, 7, 8, and 9. These are good scores. Try to revise these videos. At least you should be able to answer all these all these questions in the next session. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I think we are running late for the next session, that is Java and Selenium. If you guys are interested, directly pitch into that session. Okay. Still we have 10-15 minutes time. Go through that as well. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and then see you on Monday. Bye bye.